Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 23rd of May 2021, and just coming to the end of my week off work, back at it tomorrow, so I'm no doubt going to be very busy catching up on the accumulated work and dealing with the new coming in as well. So it's quite interesting because I was talking to some people and they were sort of taking note of how me and my wife had been out and about on holiday, going to restaurants, takeaways, shops, and all the rest of it. And I think some people in our situation are a little bit worried and concerned about the reception that they might get when they start getting out and about again, to places like that, restaurants and shops and what have you. Will you have to wear masks? Will you be subjected to this track and trace thing? Will you be asked if you've had the big V or not? And I can report from our experiences, both with booking our little mini breakaway and going to the 3 restaurants we visited, plus quite a few different shops and takeaway sort of outlets where I went and collected some takeaway food between the restaurant visits. So not particularly healthy week food-wise for us, but back to normal soon. But I can happily report that people out there don't seem to be overly concerned. I went into all those places without a mask on, and many places didn't even ask me to put one on. A couple of them did, but as soon as you just say you're exempt, they soon back away, and that's the end of the matter. And I wasn't challenged further whatsoever. They don't ask you, about your sort of big V status in any of these places. And as far as the old tracking apps are concerned, 2 out of the 3 restaurants, just absolutely nothing whatsoever. And the third one, she did point to this little QR code thing, and can you just point your phones at that? And funnily enough, on that one, both of us had completely genuinely forgotten our phones, because the restaurant was literally only about 50 yards away from the place we were staying at. So we said, sorry, sort of no phone, we can't do it. And so she just said, just fill in this silly little scrap of paper and put it in the pot. So my wife did that, and I think she put our genuine details on there, but I'm sure there's scope for doing otherwise, and they don't even look. They just leave you to fill in this silly little thing and pop it in the pot, and with no examination whatsoever. So I think it is a lot more relaxed and a lot more easy than perhaps you might be fearing. So maybe that's just a little bit of reassurance for you. Now, in my last video, just as we're leaving the holiday venue, I did say that a couple of my subscribers had invited us round for tea, and I'm happy to say we got round there, and I just literally thought it'd be a cup of tea and a biscuit, but they'd really laid on a sort of lovely spread for us, all kinds of crumpets and cakes and all the rest of it. I won't say who they are for privacy reasons, but you know who you are, and I sort of thank you very, very much, as does my wife, for your hospitality. It was fantastic, and it was so nice being able to speak in person to like-minded people. So that was fantastic. And while I was there, they showed me this leaflet that they'd got through from the health service, all about the big V. And there was one little section, I think it was near the back of the leaflet, and what it says, I'll put it up on the screen here, but the sentence to take notice of is the second one, where it says, "We do not yet know whether it will stop you from catching and passing on the virus. So that was very interesting, because it means, what's the blooming point in me having it then? And if you're admitting that it may not be doing any good whatsoever, what the hell's the point? Especially when there's so many adverse reactions being reported as well. So as far as I can see, and they're admitting it in this that leaflet, there is potentially no upside whatsoever and a whole lot of downside. So that was very, very interesting indeed. Now, I'm going to round off today just by giving a bit more of an uplifting, sort of little bit of a talk. And there is a saying, I'm going to butcher this saying because it's something along the lines of, when you have adversity, sometimes that produces your greatest opportunities and benefits. And that's not how the saying goes, but that's the sentiment of it. And I think one of the biggest benefits that I've encountered with this whole situation we're in is people like we met on Friday on the way home. And it's meant that I've got very, very deep into the sort of truther movement. And all I can say is, what a fantastic bunch of people they are. Both the couple we saw on Friday, the people we meet up with in our stand in the park, people I've chatted to on the shopping trips, and also just people I've interacted with both on the comment section of my channel and also other channels, other truthers who've got channels. They are all almost pretty much to man and woman, as far as I can see, just such lovely, genuine, kind, caring people. And I'm really proud to be associated with that group. And I guess it makes sense, because we wouldn't be speaking out if we didn't care. You know, if we were just, even if we sort of didn't buy the mainstream narrative, we were sort of doubtful, but we were just types who didn't really care about the welfare of others. It'd just be, whatever, I'm just going to keep my head down and get on with my life and avoid whatever I've got to avoid, but I'm not going to look out for other people. And we're not like that. We do want to look out for other people as well as for ourselves as well, of course. And I think that is the characteristic that I've come across in so many people like us, that we've, in our interactions with each other. And I just think, if there is any benefit, that is the main one for me, that I have managed to meet and talk with and interact with so many fantastic people, and long may it continue. I'm going forward, you're all going to be my friends, and if we stick together, we're just going to be so much stronger for it, because you are all people who care deeply for other people, and you're good people, and we're on the side of good, and we are going to prevail. There's going to be hardships to come, and I noticed that especially things like the Daily Mail starting to ramp up the hate against us who are against the big V, calling us things like draft dodgers, the 21st century equivalent of draft dodgers, and just not doing our duty, not doing our bit, and all that kind of thing, really kind of starting to ramp up the sort of hate against us. But we are on the side of right, and that is what's going to prevail. And just one last thought on that I was just talking about with Daily Mail, etc. I'm sure, as far as they're concerned, they're starting to encounter the law of diminishing returns. Yeah, they've shaken off all the low-hanging ripe fruit off the tree. They're now starting to shake that tree a little bit harder and harder, just to see if they can get a bit more fruit to fall off, so to speak. And then they'll probably try even harder to get a few more to come off. But in all these situations of diminishing returns, they sort of reach a point where it's just not worth putting in the increased effort to get decreased results. And I think they are reaching the point where they'll just sort of think, this just isn't worth it anymore. So I'm going to finish there today on a positive note there. So I'm going to be back at it tomorrow, back to work, back doing at least one video a day, or sort of hopefully 2 a day on many days, as and when I've got a lot to report on. Leave it there though. Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.